All right, let's talk about AI. This stuff is completely reshaping our world, like faster than anyone can really keep up. But there's this one huge unanswered question. As this tech spreads everywhere, who actually gets to write the rules for it?
So that's the big question, right? AI is here, but who's in charge? We've got this unbelievably powerful technology just weaving itself into every part of our lives. But when it comes to the rules, well, we're smack in the middle of this massive power struggle. You've got the federal government on one side and all the states on the other. And the biggest problem? Right now, it feels like nobody is clearly in charge.
So here's the deal. The whole issue really stems from this vacuum at the very top. There's no single national law. And because of that, state lawmakers have totally jumped into the fray. I mean, we're talking hundreds of different bills. You've got some states trying to ban facial recognition, others are all about auditing hiring algorithms for bias, and then you have some tackling deepfakes and political ads. The result? It's a complete mess. A chaotic patchwork of rules that leaves businesses, developers, and frankly all of us feeling pretty uncertain.
So, how do you fix that chaos? Well, the first big idea on the table is a major push for federal control. Basically, one single top-down national policy. A one-size-fits-all approach for the entire country.
And listen, this isn't just some think tank idea. It's real. There's a draft White House executive order that's been making the rounds, and the title? Well, the title says it all. Eliminating state law obstruction of national AI policy. I mean, you can't get much clearer than that. It's a total shot across the bow at every state trying to make its own rules. And this plan has some serious teeth. We're not talking about a gentle suggestion here. The draft order literally directs the Department of Justice to create a task force for the specific purpose of suing states. Yeah, suing them. It also talks about labeling state laws as burdensome. And get this, it even suggests tying federal broadband funding to whether or not states get in line. The key takeaway here is that this isn't a recommendation. It's a plan to force a single national standard on everyone.
So, what's the goal of all this? Well, right there in the draft order, it says it's to sustain and enhance America's global AI dominance. And how? Through a minimally burdensome, uniform national policy framework. The words that really jump out are uniform and minimally burdensome. In plain English, that means one set of simple rules for everybody, designed to prioritize speed and make sure America stays on top globally.
Okay, but that whole vision of top-down, centralized control, it's on a collision course with a much, much older American idea about how power is supposed to work. And that brings us to the other side of this fight, the view from the states.
And at the heart of that view is this concept of federalism. It's one of the bedrock principles of the whole U.S. system. The basic idea is that power shouldn't be concentrated in one place. It should be divided, with states having the real authority to govern themselves and, importantly, reflect the unique values of the people who actually live there.
And this isn't just a political talking point. You see this argument laid out in a lot of legal scholarship, like this piece here. The argument is that now, as we're entering this algorithmic age, that old principle of federalism is actually more important than ever. It's seen as a crucial firewall against concentrating too much power in one place. And this idea is perfectly captured in this classic quote from Justice Louis Brandeis. The concept is that states can act as laboratories. A single state can try something new, some novel social and economic experiment, and the rest of the country can watch and see what happens. If it works, great, everyone can adopt it. If it fails, well, the damage is contained. The whole country doesn't go down with the ship.
So the big fear from this side is that if you centralize all the power over AI in one place, you risk creating what you might call a mental monoculture. Think about it. If there's only one federal policy, and it turns out to be a really bad one, everyone suffers. There's no backup plan. And supporters of the state-led approach say, hey, isn't that the same risk we're worried about with AI itself? Relying on one single, all-powerful algorithm instead of diverse, messy human judgment. So this really brings the two philosophies head-to-head. You've got the federal vision, which is all about uniformity, efficiency on a national scale, and winning the global race. And then you have the state vision, which prioritizes experimentation, protecting local values, and creating tailored solutions. It's not just a minor disagreement, it's a fundamental clash over the right way to handle a brand new, powerful technology.
Okay, so we've got these two powerful, competing ideas clashing with each other. But what does that actually mean in the real world? What are the stakes here? What's happening right now while this battle for control is raging?
Well, for one thing, the U.S. doesn't exist in a vacuum. The rest of the world isn't just sitting around waiting for us to figure it out. The The European Union, for example, is already moving full steam ahead with its own big, comprehensive EU AI Act. They're creating a clear set of rules right now, and that puts a ton of pressure on the US to get its act together and fast.
Meanwhile, back here at home, that lack of clear rules, that regulatory vacuum we talked about, is creating some pretty dangerous openings, and you can bet that ambiguity is already being exploited.
And let's be clear, this is not some abstract academic debate. The Department of Homeland Security just put out a report confirming that bad actors are already using AI to make cyber-financial crimes more effective. This isn't a what-if scenario for the future. It's happening right now. All this uncertainty creates massive risks, both for businesses trying to build new things and for regular people who just want to know they're protected. The path we pick here is seriously going to define our future.
So, when you boil it all down, the choice here isn't really between regulation and no regulation. I mean, pretty much everyone agrees we need some rules. The real choice is between two totally different futures. One future is driven by a top-down, centralized vision of efficiency. The other is driven by a bottom-up, decentralized model of experimentation. So that leaves us with the big question: uniformity or experimentation? Which path is going to best secure our future in this new algorithmic age? Is it a single, uniform strategy that's laser-focused on global dominance, or is it a messier, more diverse tapestry of local experiments? The answer we come up with won't just shape technology, it's going to define what power even looks like in the 21st century.